Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central Spotlight. With me today from Atlanta, Georgia, the one man that needs no introduction in the Kizomba community. This man has played more dance floors than you can imagine. He goes by the name of DJ Guelas. DJ Guelas, welcome to Diaspora Central.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone.
Yes, definitely a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure. And we appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to sit with us and kind of go over some of the good things that you guys have going on in the Kizomba community. Currently, we know that things have probably been a little bit slow because of the pandemic.
Exactly. Yes. For the past year and a month, I guess.
Yeah.
Things all over the world has been kind of slow, unfortunately, but I believe things are starting to get ramped up again.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Right. How are you managing? What is Guelas doing during that time?
Man, I've been trying to stay sane. I managed to kind of get that itch of playing and, you know, providing that entertainment to people, but at the same time, it's not the same thing.
Gotcha.
And I think everybody can agree with that. But that's what I've been doing in order to actually pass time and deal with the anxiety, I guess, of being in the middle of this pandemic.
Right. Now, for many people that don't quite know, you are one of the pioneers of Kizomba in the Diaspora USA. You're one of the first DJs that really started to play Kizomba in venues closer to the mainstream, showcasing Kizomba in major venues, major events. How do you feel right now about the movement going on within the Kizomba community on the enhancement, or I guess the improvement that has happened in the Kizomba community? How do you feel about it?
Well, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting ride. When I first got on and made a conscious decision to get on this Kizomba circuit that was closer to the mainstream, to get folks involved other than Paulo folks. I never thought that Kizomba would reach this level of notoriety, and having people from all over the world enjoy something that's from our culture, something, you know, that we've always treasured, but it was within the community always. It's been, like I said, an interesting ride. I think at times we all wonder, because as soon as it gets out, you kind of, not that you need to have control, but you kind of lose control of what is being portrayed or what is being put out there.
Right.
Sometimes that's a bit of a concern. At the same time, I think that it's still a gift to the world in terms of what Kizomba has been able to provide to a lot of people.
Right.
In the last few years.
Right. Now, as one of the pioneers, of course, there's that portion of heritage that connects you to the, I guess, to the culture itself. So let's go ahead and start by actually lining up that authenticity, as I like to put it, right? So DJ Guelas is originally from what country?
I was born and raised in Portugal, but my family is from Cabo Verde.
Okay, so you are from Portugal, but with Cape Verdean heritage.
That is correct.
All right. Now, you come into the U.S. already as an adult, as a young kid, at around.
I came when I was 18, so 18. I was already.
There
adult,
you go.
So, yeah.
So kind of ready to start college. Now, were you already playing as a DJ at that time?
I was not. I was not playing. But of course, when I was in Portugal, I frequented all African clubs and had a lot of friends and was in the middle of all that in the early 90s. Okay. And that's actually one of the reasons why when I got here, my interest for music grew, and I wanted to actually be a part of what I could call in terms of a change, in terms of broadening the horizons of what was being played here in the States at the time.
Right. Now, what exactly triggered that passion or that growth for playing music? Do you come from a family of where do you have a DJ? Who exactly or who or what may have been the thing that triggered that into turning you into a DJ?
Okay, so I have influences in terms of music from both my parents.
Okay.
My mom, like Brazilian, Cape Verdean music, more like coladeira and all that.
Right.
My dad, more of a jazz musical side. Mm-hmm. And then they transmitted me, to, of course, the involvement in music. Right. However, my brother, he was, when I got here, he was already involved in radio.
Okay.
He did radio show with an aunt of ours.
Okay.
So he was involved in music. He was always listening to music. So I would have to credit him in terms of schooling me, in terms of, you know,
guiding
the backgrounds, you know, of Lusophone music.
Gotcha.
And then continue giving me that platform
to
then grow.
Okay, and what is your brother's name, if you don't mind telling us?
Paulo.
All right, so Paulo Monteiro.
Paulo Flor.
Paulo Flor. Oh, Paulo.
Flor, not Flor.
Flor. Paulo Flor. Yeah. Paulo Flor. All right. Yes. Okay. So now that is kind of good. And the reason why we like to ask for names is because we like to kind of connect the dots of the diaspora to honestly know who has influenced who and what, so that we can create some sort of a DNA of this diaspora culture, or this diaspora community that we today is ours, right? It's what we're building, is what we living in. Now, eventually you get to a point in which, okay, you're gonna venture into your first event. Where did you play your first professional, let's say, or semi-professional event? The first one that you said that helped you make that decision that, okay, I think I got this thing for real. I can do this.
This was in Providence, Rhode Island.
All right.
Mid-90s, and that back then I was doing small sets here and there, but I was accompanying other DJs, friends of mine.
Okay.
DJ Kolazuk, shout to him. He also took me under his wing. I used to do small sets here and there to help him out. Of course, I think I come from a generation where, in order to start, you know, as being a professional DJ, you help other DJs. You set up the equipment.
Right.
You know, you get this schooling on all of those things, you know.
You earn your stripes.
Exactly, yeah. And DJ Kolazuk was very instrumental on that process for me.
All right. Now, one of the things that I sometimes like to do with people, especially people that have as much time in whatever they do as you do, I like to kind of talk about a little tiny small thing. Were there cassette and CDs, or CDs and mini disc?
At the time, was when I first started, I came in an era that was already using CDs, but there was records as well. Cassette tapes were very prevalent, but not at the club at the time. We use all those in terms of recording. Mini discs were also kind of prevalent.
Right.
Towards the late 90s, of course, with the introduction of CD recorders, that changed the game. And for especially for DJs, as far as what we could do and what compilations we could have and make ourselves.
Yeah. All right, but you know what? For someone who's got as much track mileage as you do, we need to kind of take a look at a few images of the things that you do, because we know that one of the latest efforts that you are involved in is the Miami Kizomba Festival.
Miami Beach Kizomba Festival.
Miami Beach Kizomba Festival. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few images of that event, and then when we get back, let's talk a little bit more about that and exactly what you guys plan to do, if not this year, the next year. So we'll be right back right here on Diaspora Central with Ingles and my guest today, DJ Guelas.
Numa boa, ei. Deus que só desfaz e tira a paz. Tirou voado, já se foi embora. Hey. Vou te pôr anel no dedo. Vou fazer muito chamego. Vou fazer o lepo pra te fazer família. Vou te levar pro céu e vou dar tudo que é meu. Vou fazer chambé. Hoje sou eu e tu, baby, tá tudo tranquilo. Vou fazer devagarinho pra mexer com teu instinto. É só eu e tu, Vou fazer devagarinho pra mexer com teu instinto.
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you are now tuned into Diaspora Central, and today we're doing a spotlight on Kizomba, and with me via Zoom from Atlanta, Georgia, we have DJ Guelas. This is the Lusophone DJ, Mr. Authenticity himself, the AKA the man who puts the stripes on anyone else that tries to put any Lusophone music on a turntable, CD player, you name it, any forum that will play. If does not get the approval of this man in the US, then it may be questionable. DJ Guelas, I think I just put you on the spot.
Yes, you.
I think I just made your target, right?
Yes.
But I tell you why. Because in all honesty, you are a man who has earned those stripes. You have earned those stripes, and I say that personally because I have known you that long. I have known you from, oh gracious man, it's now been at least 10 years easy.
Yeah, easy.
More than that. Yeah, more than that.
In DC,
right? Yeah, the days
parties at
right.
DC.
Yeah,
And all that, yeah.
Early 2000s. Early like 2008. Yeah, 2007, 8.
Yeah, maybe even before that, because I know
Right.
there was some. This was because of independence, Angolan independence.
Oh
parties.
yeah. You 2005,
So-
2003, 2005.
Yes.
Dude, we're going on 20 years. So
Yes.
it's been a minute. Definitely been a minute. But I tell you one thing that I like about you. You keep your grind just like you just got started. You consistently on point, consistently on tune, consistently true to the culture.
I think that's very important.
Mhm.
I think the minutes that's anybody that does any profession at any point that they think that they've made it or that they've reached the mountaintop, then that's when you start losing something.
Right.
I think you always need to be in tune with what people are doing out there, listen to other DJs, seeing what's being done. That's imperative. I'm not above anybody else, especially those that are starting now. A lot of people that are starting in the culture, and that's something that I always tell them. Keep grinding and keep working on your craft because that's what is going to give you longevity if that's what you're searching for.
Indeed.
And just to be true to the culture, to those that came before myself as well, because there are others that are whose shoulders I stood on.
Yes.
And definitely I wouldn't like to disappoint them in the work that they did.
Right, and that's the level of humbleness that, in my opinion, I think the Kizomba community needs a lot more of, because, as you know, many of the people coming in today don't even respect that. They sort of try to take for granted, or they feel entitled to take it, right, and don't quite understand. At times they even go as far as disrespecting the culture in itself, but time normally tends to teach those good lessons, those good moral lessons.
Exactly.
Right? and therefore, we're going to leave that portion right there. Let's now talk about the Miami Beach Kizomba Festival. Let's talk about that. How did that idea? First of all, let me just state right here. And Danny and Shaliana, I feel very offended because as one of the earliest Lusophone guys in the U.S., I'm offended that I was not invited to be a part of that festival from the get-go. Now that I got that out of my chest, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I really feel proud of you guys, and I've been proud of you guys from the get-go, from the beginning. I knew that there was a working formula from the first show you guys did. I still haven't had a chance to go because you guys always pick a weekend when I am into something else. So the 1 year that I wanted to go is the 1 year that we didn't have it, which was last year, and that I made them. I booked myself this year. Also, I kind of booked myself for that time to hopefully see if you guys do happen. I may go, but definitely next year I want to go and have that experience. What exactly triggered that idea? How did it start? What made it happen?
So you got to date back to 2013. Mm-hmm. I was already doing a lot of shows and a couple of festivals here in the States, in San Francisco, Seattle, and all of that stuff. And I kept on seeing that there was a couple of festivals that were being run by a couple of people, nothing against them. The first festivals that came through were great festivals in terms of networking, getting to know people, but there was something missing, I felt. In talking to Danny and at events at this point, which he's from Guinea-Bissau and he was teaching in England, and I talked to them in the possibility of having an event in the States that would be kind of mimicking what our parties look like, which is something that was missing in my view. So we talked about it, we discussed, and the idea came to take form. And we, of course, Shaliana and Yair at this point, because the group was bigger in the beginning, they joined our team. And in 2013, we started planning for what would become the first Miami Beach Kizomba Festival in 2014.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it took a while to plan. It took a while to get things together for an event that took a life of its own after some years.
Yeah, it's definitely become, I believe, it's become a monster because now it's no longer an event. It is an experience, I hear.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. We have people coming from all over the world. Fortunately, we've been very blessed in doing that. And of course, also showcasing artists from our culture and highlighting live music, which was one of the things that we always wanted to do from the get-go.
Right. And you have had serious names in there. You guys have had Yola Smedo.
Yola Smith,
Paulo Flor.
Paulo Flor, we haven't
Paulo
had
Flor
the chance to have him
yet.
yet.
Okay. So you guys have had Yuri da Cunha. Okay.
Yuri da Cunha, Don Kikas, Nelson Freitas, Georgie, Grace Évora.
Oh, wow.
Amongst other artists that we've had over the years as well. Yeah.
Nice. No, definitely nice and on point. So what is up and coming?
Up and coming, I guess I can talk about it now. This year, we, as of right now, as things are evolving with COVID in Florida, the state of Florida is currently open. We will have the 7th edition that was originally supposed to happen last year. Okay. From August 26th through the 30th.
Okay.
There's going to be a few adjustments because of COVID and because of the limitations that brings. We will detail all of those on the website when people are getting ready to purchase their passes. And of course, we want to be all for safety, and we're going to have some measures in place in order to try and guarantee some safety to the event.
No, definitely. But see, there you guys go again, picking August 26th through the 30th. Oh my goodness, man! I gotta figure out how to make this thing work. Cause
yes, you do.
Yeah, I gotta figure this thing out. But eventually, I'm gonna get it, and when I get it, I'm definitely gonna make this thing worthwhile. But one of the greatest things that you guys also have going on is the fact that you guys have pretty much created an experience, really, and that experience has been giving people a true understanding of a bit of Lusophone culture. And when I say Lusophone, because there's always that war, right, of Kizomba is Angolan, Kizomba is this, Kizomba is that, Kizomba is whatever, right? But at the end of the day, Kizomba is is something of the Lusophone culture that all Lusophone countries do love and appreciate, and now America is also starting to love and appreciate. And for that alone, I have to salute you guys for doing definitely something great. But I'm still sore on the fact that there's still no Angolan on that festival as a member of the... Let me stop because people are gonna take me seriously, man. You know that I'm just kidding, man. No, it's definitely one of those good and great things, man. Any shout outs that you would like to give before we let you go?
Shout outs to all the folks that supported MBKF over the years and supported myself as well in terms of hiring me to play in all these places, trusting my work. Shout out to you that you keep on doing this work.
Thank you, sir.
That shouldn't go unnoticed as well. Highlighting folks that are in the culture, that's extremely important.
Always.
And we need more outlets like that, and definitely you have been instrumental in doing that.
Oh, no, I appreciate you recognizing that. And as a matter of fact, man, I have an archive on you I've actually ran into, and that's from back in 2011, I believe.
Wow.
In DC. Yeah, I have an archive on you. And that's at the time in which we were trying to put together the Afrosensual movement with Zinzi.
Okay.
Toko Brown.
Got it.
Yeah, so I have an archive, and I need to probably a throwback.
You just reminded. Wow,
right. I need to throw back. I need to throw back one of those archives because I actually have an interview of you back then, that we did back then. And I'll tell you, man, definitely salute for the good work, salute for the great work. And aside from the Miami Beach Kizomba Festival, you are one of those DJs that is definitely played several other events, and I have to highlight one of the very few ones that I considered very important for the culture. There was Eduardo Pain's first performance in the US. You were the DJ present, actually. Was you and DJ Effects, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You both. Well. Yes. You guys and that was at the Kizomba Summit.
Yes.
Right. Kianda's Kizomba Summit. For that alone, you guys have earned my respect. And brother, this is home. At any point in time, feel free to come by. This is a quick spotlight, but you have to make me a promise that you will be back for us to actually do a profile interview on you, because you have a lot of history and a lot of stories and a lot of I don't want to say gossip, because we don't gossip in this show. We just state facts.
Absolutely. I promise right here that we'll be back, and we'll continue this conversation.
All right, no, they'll definitely be lovely, brother, because we want to go back. We want to go back all the way back to Portugal, and even a little bit into Cape Verde, and then walk our way back into the US, and then back into Portugal already as a famous DJ. We kind of want to take the journey with you. So if you give us that pleasure, we'll definitely appreciate it. So we're going to go out with a few more images of the Miami Beach Kizomba Festival. DJ Guelas, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Right. And best of luck to you and the show.
Indeed. And for everyone else watching, thank you for joining us. And remember, if you have not yet tried this dance, you definitely need to. Go try a bit of Kizomba, and you'll definitely do good, not only to your soul, but to any other relationship that you have going on. Until next time, I am Gil Ingles. Peace.